Like many of you, I love the WWE Vault YouTube channel. I'm a little afraid that eventually it's going to take over and be the end-all be-all place for all of the streaming WWE archive, since it's currently on Peacock and we don't really know what's going to happen there. But hey, that's why us smart collectors kept all of our physical media. But I'm not here to complain about streaming today. I'm here to talk about the upload that they made earlier today, or maybe at this point yesterday, which was a little 8 or 9 minute video about a character that's been variously referred to as Furface, or the Mariner, or that run-in guy from 1991. Basically, it was Brutus Beefcake coming back from his facial injuries from the parasailing accident. The gimmick didn't get off the ground. Eventually, they went and just did the barbershop instead, and of course, he came back in 93, but there are pictures that exist of him, and I actually did get one signed at one point. He signed it Brutus Beefcake, which was totally fine with me, because I don't think the Mariner or Furface was really ever an official name, but it could have been on a booking sheet somewhere, who knows. But that is indeed him, more so as the Mariner. The Furface outfit was a little different. But that got me to thinking. Sometimes getting gimmick photos signed are a lot of fun, and sometimes they actually sign as the name, unlike here. So I figured I'd pull a few out. We'll start with one that's a very early gimmick. It actually dates back to the 60s. 1966, 67 to be exact. From the 60s to about the late 80s, I think, there was a strongman wrestler named Tony Marino. A good hand in the ring, great look, great physique. In Pittsburgh, in, again, probably late 66, early 67, he adopted the gimmick of the Batman. Now, as you can see, there's 2 T's, and that was to avoid the copyright from DC Comics and 20th Century Fox and Bill Dozier, big Batman 66 fan here. He even had a Robin for a little bit. I don't even know if he made appearances, but they did make the cover of Wrestling Review. And there you can see him, and that's all him under there. He was a big man. He had a couple different versions of the mask, and I actually got to hold one. At one of his last appearances. Tony lived to his early 90s, and he made a few appearances in Pittsburgh with Bruno and the gang at some of the signings that I've referenced before, and there it is. And he actually had 2 signatures as the Batman, and of course he had his Tony Marino signature, but as Batman, if you ever see one that's kind of the Batman cowl, and it says, I believe he would write BM in it, that's him, and then he would also just sign Batman, of course, with the 2 T's. And there he is in a photo that I believe I made. Yeah, that's definitely one of my pictures. Next up, we have a member of Demolition that's often forgotten about. Of course, before Barry Darsow became Smash, it was Randy Colley, better known as Moondog Rex. Well, as the story goes, fans were chanting Moondog Rex at Demolition Smash. So they decided he wasn't quite a good fit for it, and Barry Darsow took over the role and made history. Randy Colley wasn't done in the wrestling world, and he didn't really stick around as Moondog Rex at all. Maybe later he wrestled again in that gimmick, I'm not too sure. But he did on the last vestiges of the territories in the early days of which we'd start to call the independent scene. He became Detroit Demolition, and that is indeed his autograph as Detroit Demolition. I think he actually had me spell it for him, because it just wasn't an autograph that he was used to signing, but that is him. And I'm actually not sure what territory the picture is from or what the belt is, but I'm sure somewhere out there might know. I'm sure someone out there does know. But I don't know how many autographs he signed as Detroit Demolition, but he did indeed sign this one for me. And he's got that face paint, and definitely different from Demolition Smash. Next up, we have one of everyone's favorite female wrestlers, including Uncle Bryven. Y'all know Uncle Bryven. Y'all love him. We're going to get him on here one night, but you know her as Molly Holly, but you know she was Starla Saxton. And it's always nice when the wrestlers, you know, like to see the early shots. They sometimes do the little embarrassed, oh, mercy me, I was such a baby. I think she did that when she signed this. I just did a screen grab from a Sunday Night Heat where she appeared as Starla Saxton. Of course, she was also Miss Madness in WCW. And I'm not sure if she ever wrestled under her real name, but of course we all know her as WWE Hall of Famer Molly Holly. And there is a Starla Saxton autograph. And sometimes you just want to get multiple gimmicks on one item. I mean, you know, we talked about Barry Darsow. How many names has he had? We talked about Brutus Beefcake. I think those are two of the record holders right there. But someone who had 3 different names, 2 of which were very gimmicky, and one was his actual name, was one of our favorites, Hector Guerrero. And this is a photo that I put together. And you have, of course, Hector Guerrero, and it's signed to me. And you have Lasertron, which was, of course, Jim Crockett Promotions. I believe he was in one of the Crockett Cups. I have that one, him signed in there as well. And then the Gobbledy Gooker. Now, 2 things about when I made this photo. I made this photo well over probably 15 years ago. And believe it or not, unlike now where you can just pull up high-quality photos of almost any gimmick there ever was, even back just 15 years ago, you kind of had to search, and you didn't always get the highest quality photos. So what I would often do when I would create pictures for them to sign, I like to do the 4x6s. I almost said 5x7s. I should know. They're 4x6s, because you could put the lesser quality photo onto, and it would look good getting it printed out. And then you could also, fit more than one because they were small anyway. And back then, there wasn't any Gobbledy Gooker merchandise. I mean, now he has at least one Topps card from the Living set. I know he has that. And, of course, there's the figure now. So there's a lot of Gobbledy Gooker stuff out there to be signed now, but there wasn't then. So there you go. And then, of course, Hector, classic look there, and his, which was then current TNA announcer role. So, gimmicks are fun. You talk about the word gimmick, and wrestlers use it for 1.5 million things. Hector Guerrero had 2 gimmicks right there. 3 if you count his own. A gimmick table, where you buy the merchandise as the wrestler's merchandise. The outfit, they refer to as a gimmick. Gimmick is life as a wrestler. I'm a gimmick, you're a gimmick, we're all a gimmick.